We started PODS, or we purchased the PODS franchise in Columbia in 2009. PODS began in 1998 in Clearwater, Florida. They started just moving containers around, figured this was a good idea, and then realized real quick that they needed to grow scale. And to do that, they started marketing to franchisees to grow the network out nationwide. And that's kind of one of our still competitive advantages, is that we're the largest network of moving these containers around the U.S. The franchises started going pretty quickly after 1998, and a man purchased the PODS franchise in 2004 in Columbia. He ran it from New Jersey, had a manager down here who ran Charleston and Columbia. And then in 2008, right as the housing market was going down, he decided, this doesn't seem like a great business. You know, we're very dependent on the housing market, and decided he wanted to put it up for sale. Rachel and I heard about it, and we were living in New York at the time, and decided we wanted to make a go of it, see if we could buy this franchise. And we went to pretty much every bank in Columbia, not knowing anyone here, just going down, getting interviews. We had our pitch book ready. We would go in and give them the whole story of why we thought we could run this franchise and turn it around and make it profitable. Everybody rejected us. And we kind of went back to New York and said, oh, well, that was fun, good exercise. We'll see if there's something else like that we want to do later on. And about a year later, the guy called back and said, hey, look, I'll do seller financing. I'll do whatever it takes. Let's get this deal done. So fast forward to 2009, we took ownership, moved down to Columbia, and first day of business was August 28th. And it's been quite a fun ride through the downturn of the market, and seeing it come back has been great. PODS has basically two revenue streams, a local revenue stream and a long distance revenue stream. The local revenue stream is basically anybody that needs a container, and we're constantly finding out new ways people use the container, from just redoing their floors to moving across town. If one closing of a house is maybe a month after the first closing, you know, somebody needs their things to be safe, secure. We have a warehouse where we store them, or people store them on their own property. Some people use them as a shed in their backyard for years at a time. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's part of our business. But that's basically the local side of the business. And then we have a long distance side. And the way that works is we have an origination franchise and a destination franchise, and our corporate parent handles all the logistics and contracting with the freight company in between, and then we split the revenue a third. We also sell boxes and ancillary items, locks, things like that, but that's really not the primary revenue stream. So that's basically PODS revenue.
Okay, so our competitive advantage, there's a couple things that make PODS unique to the moving and storage industry and the portable storage industry. At that, one of our differences is we do have a big warehouse space. We have about a 70,000 foot warehouse over in Casey's where we're located. So as Eric talks about, if people want us to store their stuff and they don't want the container sitting on their property, we can store it for them. A lot of people choose that option. Another thing that sets us apart is our delivery mechanism, which is we call a Podzilla, which is this contraption you see around the pod container there, and that actually fits on the back of the truck. So that's what we use to deliver and pick up the containers when we're on site at somebody's property. Keeps the container completely level, so it's not a roll-off like a dumpster delivery mechanism. And people really appreciate that when you're moving all of your household belongings. And then one of the other things is that we do have the national presence, like Eric talked about. So we're across the country in every single major city, a lot of small towns, so we can move somebody virtually anywhere in the U.S., which is a pretty great thing. When we arrived here in 2009, taking over from an absentee owner was kind of a challenge because they really didn't have any of the local presence here. So that's been a huge focus for us, just donating to nonprofits whenever they ask us. And making it known that, hey, we're the local owner-operators, we actually live here, we have a vested interest in the community. So we've tried to do a variety of things to really make that happen, and that's seemed to be successful for us, and these are just a couple examples. And then just quickly to touch on what we really appreciate about being a franchise, which is different than, I guess, just if we thought of PODS ourselves, which would have been awesome. It's a great idea. But some of the benefits that we have is that we do have a call center. So if we're unavailable to take calls, somebody can always be reached at an 800 number. Most people don't like to call it, but it is there. We have national advertising cooperatives that we can participate in. As I mentioned before, it's a national brand. It's also becoming international, so there's Australia locations in Canada, and they're just starting in the UK. And PODS has actually done a good job also of having a very strong franchisee network, I should say. So the other owner-operators around the country are very in touch with each other. There's an association that we participate in that has regular calls, so there's a lot of sharing of best practices that goes on, which is really helpful. And they also provide an integrated scheduling system and network so we can easily control our pricing, routing every day, and other key business management features. That's pretty much PODS in a nutshell, and I think we're right at our 6 minutes, so if anybody has any questions, take it away.
Thank you.